Okay, let's simplify the vector positions for a minute and diagnose.
Hey, let me take the one question from the most interesting
Any
guy
question should be able to round robin through this machine gun right here.
That's
Answer the
you.
question, find an answer.
Mr.
This is where you
President,
find
there
the
had not
answer.
been a U.S.
This is that
service
area.
member killed in combat in
So yes,
Afghanistan
the
since
sharp's case
February
begun.
of
Instant
2020.
report on the marshmallow.
You
That
set
happened.
a deadline, you pulled troops out, you sent troops back in.
Yes,
and
the
now
failings
12
on those things were
Marines
these
are
places.
dead. You said the buck
The
stops
replacement
with
on
you.
that's already
Do
over.
you bear any responsibility?
And
for the
why
way that
could you
things
live
have
anywhere
unfolded
else
in
given
the
the
last
machine
2
guns,
weeks?
the parts,
I
the
bear
systems,
responsibility
the multi-matrix with the
fundamentally all
secondary?
that's
It's like if
happened.
you get them out of there like that, they don't.
Here's the deal. You know, I wish
You have
one
a
day
democratic
you'd see these
system
things.
that saves
You know
Hatfield and
as well as
McCoys
I
for
do
coming down on time and debt
that
for systems
former
by any
president
other standards.
made a deal with the Taliban.
Yeah, I bet.
That he would get
No,
all
that and the
American
index
forces
doesn't change where I would
out
camp
of
for on the standard. Like I
Afghanistan
said,
by
my
May
terms
1.
on this should have been the pro-line
In
index from
return,
30
the
years
commitment
back,
was
but it
made.
turns
That was a
into a
year
military
before.
security defense stock
In
on. That's
return,
what
he
the
was
system
given a
is.
commitment
So you could
from
quantify
Taliban
its
to
early
continue to
arrangements
attack
on the contract.
others,
The deal was
but would
with
not
the
attack
why
any
not?
American
The deal was
forces.
guns. If they need fucking guns
Remember
by
that?
the Chicago goddamn numbers
being
inside of what
serious,
we
right?
have for congruent
No,
pipes,
I'm
A
asking
squared
you a
plus B
question.
squared inside
Because
here,
before-
that's what that becomes. See,
No,
that's
wait a
where
minute.
we're
I'm
living in the
asking you a
middle of
question.
it.
Is that
And so
accurate,
the
the
terms
question,
on
or
the
not?
question don't apply. Why I'm going to stand out on this situation and let this run. See, I wouldn't have quit inside of that system because on those indexes, it was easy to replace from top G. My job is to be a gear works on some kind of sensor on when I would hear a response from a spring on this index of those are bad board contracts of who's in lead of that tax dollars because it's a business. That business is a fucking MOS that have standards of MOSs on sectors and standards topologies that would differentiate the Himalaya team and the desert team or the mangrove team.
From the date until
And so in
I
IKEA for a
came
region,
office
you do the test that does the
because
military structure. It
was
says the
made
built on
by
that's going to
President
start to
Trump,
be,
I will
you need
be out
to
by May
Apache and make
1st.
that M1
In the
serviceability
meantime,
last
you
at least
agreed not
5
to
years to
attack
get you a
any
driver
Americans. That
before
was
you
the
really
deal.
get to drive it.
That's why no
Simple
American
enough.
was
I mean,
attacked.
that's what it takes for our own not to go off in an Apache in town with bad programming about food and
Yes,
stock.
I do.
It's
Because
seriously,
look at
you
it
are
this
way
way.
over the line on the
And I'm
contract
gonna
while you're
have
biting
another
too many
meeting
bids
for real.
on here for
But
Avengers Team or SEAL Team 6 or whatever it turns
imagine
into it. If it wasn't
where
on
we'd
the
be
fucking books, it was
if I had
wrong.
indicated
Blockchain.
on May the 1st.
And you want that paper on the graph
I
for
was
the
not
index, it
going
starts
to
to be every college
renegotiate
about every war forever.
Evacuation
So
date.
you would want to stand in front of
We
it
were
with the
gonna stay there.
vote.com with something standard
I had
like
only
that,
one
especially when you have the
alternative.
tools and equipment and some
Pour
droid
thousands
programmers
of our
out there
troops
by
back into
crypto
Afghanistan
security entry level analysis
the
to be
war
able to first figure out the murder button
that
has
we
a
had
first step.
already won relative to why the reason we
Beyond
won in
that
the
step,
first
there's all
place.
kinds of different terminals at 9.8 meters
I
per
have
second
never
of the
been
training
of the
course.
view
The training course still take 24
that we
hours a
should
day
be
for a certain number of sets. If I
sacrificing
arbitrarily
American
set that
lives
thing to 31st or otherwise,
try to
then the graphing
establish
index said something fouled.
a
Now, what the foul on that
democratic
might have been
government
the military consulate. They pulled
in
out, went to the airport,
Afghanistan.
didn't want to play, why not stay?
A country
American
that
soldiers
has
supposed to
never
stay on that
once in
hillside
its
and
entire history
take Vietnam and
United
everything
country.
else. That's what they feed us down the pipes all
And
the
is
time. Your
made
whole
up-
war culture, there's
I
not
don't mean
one
this
in
in a
here.
derogatory,
So it
made up
either
of different
is
tribes
that and somebody fucked it
who
up,
never,
or
ever,
heritage
ever
on the
got
culture is
along.
going to be your hillside, one way or the other. You can't just graph
So,
on an index of
as I
moving out
said
somewhere
before,
else
so
on
let's
dirt and
come
call
out
it a
and
higher
we'll have more
probability of
chance
the
to talk about this.
engineering on what that is. You know,
Unfortunately,
roll the bones,
beyond, because
play the
we're not
lottery,
out
make a
yet.
jump, shelter in place, start figuring out the police station and stuff.
Osama
Who
bin
is
Laden
on those things, what security guards those
as
things,
well
and
as
then
Al-Qaeda
graph it. Like I said, if you get that to Fox in the
chosen
box, that's something
to
that we
launch
can
an
smoke them
attack
on. That's a fair
when they
sharps
left
case
Saudi
on an
Arabia
area
out
that is
of
just about not the Taliban leader, damn it, not Putin personally or
ever
China as a whole,
gone
god damn it.
to Afghanistan.
Yemen. I mean, there would
Even
be
though
a
the
herd of
Taliban
people out
completely
there in
controlled
the
Afghanistan
airport
at
for
the
doing
time.
what it is, whether it be Yemen
Would we have ever
or
known?
Haiti or anything else. Now,
No,
the
it's not
American
fair to ask you
Standard, the
questions
American
that's
Industrial
rhetorical.
Monster,
Raise
what
your
it
hand if
is,
you
here's
think
the
we should
hand
go.
manual, the D12 dozer serviceability rating is a math problem.
Thousands of lives.
Bell and a bunch of other things
Tens
out
of
early on the
thousands.
Industrial Revolution. I'm not going to say we didn't have French revolutionary generals.
Our interest
Now that's
in
simple
going
enough. You would go
was
to what the
prevent
goddamn
Al-Qaeda
graphing
from
index
emerging.
does to the turnover.
First
Now
to
some of
get bin
you
Laden,
got turned into the day for the
wipe
job.
out
Some of
Al-Qaeda
you have been
in
out for a while, and
Afghanistan.
you're going to ask this damn
Prevent that
question
from
why the
happening
pay
again.
is set to the scales under what they are
I've said
set.
100 times.
It's because they're set that way for a reason. Now tomorrow, if you keep coming in like that, you'll understand the limits under those standards for those trajectories to a differential place that eventually stabilizes off. But you just can't exponentially grow at that forever. Like some of those contracts, meat on the bone, have wave functions and particle science that is unexcusable
Ladies and gentlemen, it was
for missing.
time to end a 20-year war. Thank you so much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey,